Well, let's bring you back here because there are 335 MPs arriving at Westminster for the first time today, navigating the House of Commons, setting up their offices and, of course, getting used to their new roles. Well, there for us at Westminster is our political correspondent, Nick Eardley. And Nick, just talk me through the monumental task these people have, because not only is it a new job, but it's a new location, the warren of offices around, Houses of Parliament. It's getting used to a lot of things very, very quickly.
Yeah, I've been here for 8 years and I get lost most days, so there is definitely a lot to get used to when you arrive at Parliament for the first time. And it's a particularly big task today because there are more than 300 new MPs. That's the extent to which there's been a clear out of Conservative MPs, lots of new Labour MPs to get used to this place. I'm pleased to say we've got one here, Adam, on your election in Newcastle-under-Lyme. Tell me, I know you started this induction yesterday. You were here early to beat the queues. What's it like? What happens?
Well, first, it was an incredible honour and privilege to walk in to this place with my pass on, knowing that I've got 70,000 people to stand up for. It was a bit overwhelming, well knackered after the campaign, obviously. You can hear the voices still just about here. But it was a real chance to get your iPad, your laptop, to work out where everything is so I can hit the ground running and deliver for my constituents.
Have you had much sleep?
A little bit of sleep. My wife was very insistent that last night we got to bed early. The last 6 weeks have been full on, but I was selected 18 months ago, so I've been working hard, building trust, listening to people, and trying to give folks across Newcastle-under-Lyme the chance to vote for change and to believe in me, and they did, and now we've got to get to work. Give
us a sense of how daunting or perhaps exciting it is to be a new MP. This place is obviously based on some old, some would say strange traditions. There's a lot to get used to. How much is there to get in your head over the next few weeks?
A huge amount to get into the head. I had the privilege of working for Ruth Jones, the the former Shadow Environment Minister. We get to see the Prime Minister appoint the full ministry. So I have had the chance to work here before.
You know the place, but it's a different job now, isn't it?
Hugely. It's a really important one. And I will be taking the next few days to get ready, battle ready to fight for the people of Newcastle-under-Lyme. But yeah, it's hugely daunting. It's massively exciting, and I'm very conscious of the responsibility that rests on my shoulders now, and I'll be working every day to honour the trust placed in me.
Now, as someone who has worked here as a staffer over the last few years, are people coming to you asking for advice? Are you buddying up with anyone to show them around this place?
I've shown a couple of my pals in the PLP where the loos are. A bit of advice on the best entrance to miss the queues and where the good best soup is. But the most important thing is trying to build that sense of togetherness and solidarity with my colleagues. There's a huge task ahead of us to get this country back on track, and the sooner we can get to work, the better. And part of that is making sure that we build that team spirit in the PLP. We were very lucky. The party during the election campaign were really clear that all of us in our different constituencies had a common bond of a focus and a determination to make Britain better. So we've already had that chance to work together to get to know each other. So there's been lots of hugs and backslaps and handshakes, but that's for today in this induction week, and then we hit the ground running after the King's speech next Wednesday.
Now, the colour is interesting, but Adam, we've known each other for a while when you worked here, and as you know, this place isn't all about just getting used to it, it's about the hard graft of politics. How confident are you that the Labour Party is going to be able to, in power, deliver what the Conservatives failed to, which is a significant change to the economy and the big economic growth that the Chancellor is promising?
Growth is the #1 buzzword and focus for us.
Has been for other parties, though. How did you get it?
It has. Well, I think it's doing things with people, not to people. The people of Newcastle-under-Lyme deserve an economy that grows, that brings jobs, that allows the cost of living challenges to be addressed properly. People like me now have the chance to help make sure that happens, holding our ministers to account, asking the right questions in the chamber, picking up the key issues that I hear on the ground back home and bringing them to this place and to the green benches. But let's not be under any illusions. The task ahead of us is huge. We have a lot of work to do to build trust with people. They gave us an opportunity to serve our country. We've got a large mandate, much bigger than anyone thought we'd get, and we now have to make sure we put that mandate into practice and deliver for people. But my main focus, the MP for Newcastle-under-Lyme, will be doing things with people, not to them.
It's interesting you say that, because I know you weren't watching Rachel Reeves' speech because you're still finding your way around your new offices and things like that, but she was saying that the new housing minister, the new housing government minister, Angela Rayner is going to be interventionist. Big house building targets, mandatory targets are being brought back. That sounds a bit to me like central government is going to be saying to people, including your constituents, you're going to have to live with this stuff whether you like it or not.
Well, that's where I come in. That's why I come in to make sure that the issues, the views, the concerns, the worries, but the ambitions of my people are heard loudly and proudly, not just in the corridors of power, but in the ministries as well. I have the opportunity to ask questions in the chamber and to directly take the concerns my constituents have to ministers. But I think people elected a government with a large mandate last week. Of course you expect government to lead. We saw over the last 14 years dither, delay, people let down, promises broken, people lied to. So of course you expect government to play a key role in making things happen. But as I say, I'll be fighting every day. And I know from the Prime Minister down, the focus is on doing things with people, not to them.
Very quickly, one last question for you. You know what the culture around this place is like. It's got a reputation for being a bit boozy. There's been a lot of scandals over the last few years. Do you think that's going to change, and if so, how?
I hope so. It's really important that this is viewed as a place of work. This was my place of work before I was elected to Parliament.
Should shut the bars?
Moderation in life is a sensible approach. It's certainly the one I was raised with. It's not for me to pass comment on whether bars should be shut. It's for all of us to take the sensible approach and to never forget we're here to deliver for people. And that's got to be my focus over the next 5 years.
Adam Jogee, the new MP for Newcastle-under-Lyme. I appreciate you coming to speak to us.
Nick.
I'm sure we'll have you more on BBC News over the next 5 years. So yes, a lot of MPs queuing up here now to get their inductions. We'll speak to more over the course of the day.
OK, Nick, thank you very much indeed. Nick Eardley there.